Hey guys, my name is John Clark, licensed counselor, group practice owner, and a guide for therapists trying to build a better business without all the overwhelm. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about a few reasons as to why most therapists fail when it comes to getting more clients. Let's dive in. Okay, so the first reason, and not necessarily in this order, but a very common reason that I see is that therapists have very self-centered copy on their websites. Their message is completely self-centered. I was just on a therapist website today and I land on their page and the first thing they say is, my name is so-and-so and I have a bachelor's degree from this place and a master's degree from this place and I also have an MBA and look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's the equivalent of walking into a room of people you don't know and just starting to go on and on about yourself at no end. It's almost like we do that sometimes when we're nervous, when we don't know what to say, and we don't know how to engage with new people. Well, when we just walk up to new people and start talking about ourselves, that doesn't create resonance, that doesn't create rapport. In fact, it does the opposite, right? It makes people feel kind of invisible and unimportant. So what we want to do is we want to go from having self-centered copy to client-centered copy. And the convenient part is, many clinicians consider themselves client-centered to begin with, person-centered, etc. And so the good news is, yeah, your marketing is not really about you. It's about what you can do for the client, right? It's about resonating with the client and then showing them and telling them a bit about what you can do for them to help them get to where they want to be. So this is one of the easiest fixes that you can make to your website, to your marketing, to anything you're doing to communicate with the general public and with potential clients, is go from self-centered copy, a self-centered message, to truly client-centered copy and a client-centered message. Okay, the second reason is that most therapists just have confusing, cluttered websites. I look at probably 50 therapist websites a week and I see tons of bad examples, okay? And I see exactly what not to do. You go to a therapist website and you're just overwhelming people with, here are all my media appearances and this huge sidebar with all, my 15 different blog posts I've written recently. I have 5 different calls to action in the top left and another little widget and a pop-up and a video. And you think about it and you think, well, clients are already overwhelmed. And then they come to your website and it's anything but calming. It actually further overwhelms them, and what they do is they just click out and they leave. So you work really hard to get these people to your website to generate these new leads for your business, and then they land on your website, they're already overwhelmed, and finding a therapist is an overwhelming process, and your website just overwhelms them even further. Less is more when it comes to your therapist website. Always err on the side of minimalism. Okay, from there, another really common reason is that therapists might have a good website, but simply no traffic. And the reality is your website is really only as good as a few things. Well, it's traffic, its message, and its ability to convert people, right? So a lot of times people get a really good message dialed in, a really good client-centered message. They have a very minimal, compelling website. It's very clean, calming, etc. And they just don't have any people coming to it, and they don't understand how to get traffic to their website. So the reality is there's virtually 2 ways of getting people to your site: paid methods and organic methods. I'm not going to break down all that because we do a lot of that in other videos, but for now, that's just something you should be thinking about, is once your website is really dialed in, well, then you shift your attention to getting more traffic to the website, and of course, tracking that website traffic very closely and monitoring your numbers closely every single week. Another problem, on the other hand, is people can often have good traffic but no inquiries. So we really have to address the whole process when it comes to client attraction and conversion. So you can have a really good website, you can have a really good traffic, again, but not a good website, and people are not going to convert, right? So you can do all this work to get really good paid and organic traffic to your website, but if you don't have that clear and compelling message and a clean visual and a clean process for your clients to follow on your website, then it's not going to convert. Your website's not going to convert, and you're not even going to get the chance to get clients on the phone to get them booked for their first appointment. And of course, on the other hand, some folks have they have inquiries but no conversions. So they do everything right and they get people to their website, they get them from their website off of the website onto a phone call, but then they can't convert, or sometimes their assistant can't convert, or whoever's answering the phone. That's a whole nother problem and a whole nother part of this whole process that really needs to be addressed. And another reason is that I think therapists in general lack a basic understanding of how the internet works. I mentioned just a second ago this idea of, traffic coming from generally 2 places. organic methods and paid methods. Even just to understand that from a very basic level is going to help give you a major leg up when it comes to marketing your practice online and giving you an edge over other therapists who don't take the time to really just understand this stuff at a basic level. Another basic kind of marketing idea, online marketing idea that could really help you is just understanding this idea of lead generation versus brand awareness. This is how I kind of break things up when I'm thinking about marketing of any kind. Lead generation is just getting in front of what we call hot leads, kind of the sales term. They're people who are looking to buy something right now. In our case, they're looking to find a therapist right now. I want to spend most of my time getting in front of those exact people. Now, on the other hand, at some point, there is value to brand awareness and just getting my brand out in front of more people, staying present in the minds of people, and growing the brand awareness of the company over time. Okay, and my final reason why most therapists fail to get more clients is that they lack two things: persistence and curiosity. You have to stick with something long enough to see if it's going to work or not. And a lot of therapists will try something, or they'll make an edit to one page of their website, and then it doesn't change anything, or it doesn't get you more traffic, and they conclude too quickly, this didn't work, so I should move on, I should scrap it, I should do something else. Or I heard something in a Facebook group that said, actually my page should be this long or this many words long, so I'm going to change it again. You have to be persistent about the right things, and you have to, that second part of having curiosity, they kind of go hand in hand. So you have to be persistent enough to try something and try it and give it justice, right, or do it justice. And on the other hand, you have to be curious about the information that you're getting back based on your efforts. So you have to understand that if you, let's say you change your fees and then one client tells you your fee is too high, well, that's a sample size of one. Rather than just concluding that, oh, my fee's too high, I should change it or lower it again or whatever, you should get curious about that and go, okay, that's one data point. That's one piece of information that I've gotten back based on my new fees. Let me just be curious about that, try to understand what the market could be telling me, and then get a bunch more data points before I make any conclusion and change what I'm doing. The same applies to when you're adjusting things in your marketing. You need to really just get good at adjusting one thing at a time, so you're really isolating that variable, and then testing it as objectively as you can before you conclude, is this working for me or not? Always maintaining that sense of curiosity going into the changes that you're making on your practice. All right, that's it for this video. Again, my name's John Clark. I'm a guide for therapists trying to build a better business without all the overwhelm. Hope this video was helpful. You can like and subscribe here on YouTube. And of course, head on over to thejohnclark.com to apply for a free call. Again, thejohnclark.com to apply for a free call if I can help you get more clients and do it consistently.